You got to always bring your A game, no matter how many people are in the room. A lot of artists make the mistake of doing a lesser show if they don't have what they consider the perfect audience. That's a huge.
What's up, man? It's your boy Willie Lynch Jr, the traveling black vegan. On the ye day. Look, man, we back for another episode of All the Way Live, man. I told y'all, for you dead niggas, you stay over there. Because over here, we live, we living. We all the way live, man. This is the dopest, the newest, the smoothest, the schizophrenic ass podcast on the internet. We're going to be talking about any and everything. From comedy to health, wellness, nutrition, plant medicine, history, politics, ugly people.
Show.
A bunch of shit. Look, but we're here, man, and we bringing some of the most legendary guests to interview, to talk to just peek into their lives, to see where they from, what they've done, what they are doing, what they've overcome. And man, again, man, it's All the Way Live with your boy Willie Lynch Jr. Y'all show some love. Give me some energy. Clap,
yeah,
man. Clap.
All the way live.
And look, my guest for the day, man, is somebody I've looked up to since I was a kid. This is one of the people who was one of the scene stealers in one of the greatest, arguably the greatest comedy movie of all time. It was called House Party 3.
The best.
Like, don't nobody talk about House Party 3 like they need to. They talk about Harlem Nights. They talk about Life, a bunch of other movies, Nutty Professor. But House Party 3 was one of my favorites, if not my favorite comedy movie of all time. And we got here right now, one of the legends of that movie, Showboat himself, Michael Colyar, the legendary Michael Colyar, the king of Venice Beach. Y'all show some love,
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm honored to be here, and I just want to say congratulations. This beautiful studio and the way you carry it. It's very excellent. Thank you, brother.
Thanks for even taking the time out to pull up on me, man.
Well, you're a young legend yourself, brother. So when you call, I got to come see what it is.
Look, mama, did you hear that? I know you don't think nobody know me. You think I be lying. I told you I be doing comedy, and you think I'm selling dope. I'm not. I'm on stage. Michael Colyar, who you love. My mama love you, bro.
Oh, I love your mama right back. Hey, mama.
Look, he here with me today. This is a real, I told you I had a show, mama. Mm-hmm. You think I'm at Walmart right now. I'm going to be back at the show. I'm here with Michael Colyar. But Mike, man, what's up, man? Tell us, give me some game, man. Tell me what you got going on, where you from, and tell me how the journey unfolded for you, because I know a lot about you, but you just start where you want to start.
It's a lot. Okay, so we'll start from I'm from Chicago, Project Southside, Robert Taylor Home, 4352 South State, apartment 909, and I'm a comedian, actor, motivational speaker, and now an author. And I started out by just doing jokes. In fact, we started out at being actors in high school. Me and my two friends, Darryl Reed and Vance Williams, and we was in every play. So we was really driving to be great actors when I was a youth. And we knew all the musicals, we knew all the songs, we knew everything. We were supposed to go to Broadway and Hollywood. And then I ended up going to the military instead. And then when I came out, I had to try my hand at comedy. In fact, it was 1984 or 85, and one of my greatest inspirations is the best who's ever done it, if you ask me, is Eddie Murphy. And that year, Eddie Murphy was only 23. He had already done 48 Hours, Trading Places, and the first Beverly Hills Cops. He had the biggest comedy concert and video out there called Raw. It was also the biggest tour. And he literally single-handedly saved the greatest show on television then, which was Saturday Night Live, which was about to close their doors. He came on as a star and saved that show, and that show hasn't stopped running since. And he could wear the hell of a red leather suit. And he did all that shit on jokes, rich enough to pee cream, on jokes. And I didn't know that you could make this kind of money telling jokes. I said, shit, I need to get out the mustard and catch up. So I went down in my mama's basement. I was living anyway, and I got me some Red Fox albums, and I would just stand in the mirror and play the albums over and over and tell the jokes and look at myself, tell them, so I know what I look like when I'm doing it. And I would tell jokes over and over till I could tell them so well that it seemed like it was my joke. Some of the Red Fox jokes I still do today, just like that's like they're mine. And I don't think an old joke should die just cause the motherfucker that wrote it did. Okay? He can't use it no more. Red Fox created 75 comedy albums. You know how many jokes that is? Red is dead. He can't use them jokes no more. What are we supposed to do? 75 albums of great jokes, throw them away? Shit, no. I tell them to you. You tell them at work, you're a hero and you pay no royalty. Keep jokes alive. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not afraid. I won't do jokes with people who are alive.
Yeah.
But if you did and you did a great joke, like Ricky Harris. Did you know who Ricky Harris was?
Yes, sir.
Ricky Harris was brilliant. He had to me, to this day, still the greatest church joke I've ever heard. You know it?
Mm-mm.
So church is in session, and these three brothers kick the doors open, and they got guns, or they got 9mm, everything, and one of them shoot one of the guns in the air, and everybody jump down to the ground, and they walk up, they stand on the podium, and they say, okay, how many of y'all love Jesus? And they all sitting there, a couple of hands go up. He said, how many people love Jesus enough to die for Jesus? Because we're going to find out right now. And some of the hands come down. He said, how many of you love Jesus so much you will stay in this room and die? You know what? If you're willing to die for Jesus, you stay in this room. If not, get out of here. Everybody jumped up and ran. Even the minister, they all ran out. It was about 4 people left. As soon as they left, they all put their guns down and said, now we get them fake-ass Christians out of here. Let's have some church. Brilliant piece of it. But he dead. He gone. So we never tell that joke again. Red Fox's great joke was you got to wash your ass. In fact, the album cover is a donkey, and he's holding his tail up and holding his nose. You got to wash your ass. I'm not talking about your whole ass. I'm talking about your asshole. You'd be surprised how much funk you can find in the size of a dime or a quarter or a silver dollar. You know your ass better not do. Oh, brilliant material. We don't do it no more. Because he did? No, not me. I'm doing them. And I mix that in with modern jokes as well as what's going on with my life. So it's a blend of everything. If you come to my show, you learn, you heal, you get uplifted, but most importantly, you laugh. At no point should we forget as comedians that we're comedians. No one comes to a comedy show to be lectured. You know, they don't really come to be educated too, but I'm educating them at my show. I'm trying to point things out to show them how to have an easier life, how to have an easier community and lift your community up, and how to be with family, and most important, God, because everything for me is about family and God. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so that's how I started. And then well, we did that acting. I went to military, became military police. But the whole time I was in the military, I was putting on plays and stuff. You know, so when I came back, my friends would say, you need to take your little comedy stuff. I heard you was in the mirror and go somewhere. So I went to a little restaurant club called the Naughty Pine, 115th and Halstead. And it was just a restaurant club, but they had a little stage. And I get on that stage and did comedy. And I asked the guy, what would he pay me? You know, I said, if you just give me $15, if you love me. Now, if you like me, I didn't say that. If you love me, give me $15. If you don't love me, you ain't gonna give me shit. And I went up and did all Red Fox jokes, tore the house up. Not only did he give me $15, he gave me $30. So he doubled what I asked for, and he took me to breakfast. I never heard of sunny side eggs called 2 eggs looking at you. So they said, give me 2 pork chops, 2 eggs looking at you, and some wheat toast. And I was blown away. I got double what I asked in a breakfast, and all I had to do was be funny. Oh, I love that shit. So I found 10 bar clubs like that around the city, and that's what I do every week. I'd ask for $30. I was making $300 a week, doing 10 clubs with tips and stuff people gave me, took me out and all that, and that's how I really got started. And then there was a team of comedians in Chicago. Their name was Straight Up. And it was John Tollbay and Byron Chapman. All their material was the difference in white people and black people. And they were hilarious, but they was on street performance on State Street in Chicago. I was like, nigga, I ain't no street puppet. I ain't doing that shit. Then when I went out and watched them one day, in one afternoon, just 2-hour period, they came back with a brown paper bag stuffed with money. I said, I can try that shit. You know, and that's what got me started. I did that and became real successful with it in like 3 days. By the 4th day, I made so much money, I said, that's all I'm doing. So I quit everything else I was doing. At the time, I was a full-time student at Chicago State University. I had a full-time job waiting tables at the Black Hawk on Wabash, which was a high-end restaurant. I was a full-time actor at a theater called Free Street Theater, because we did free street theater. So we do theater around the country right out in the street. You didn't have to pay. You just walked up, and the city would pay us. So we was getting checks every week, and I was acting, and I was raising my son as a single dad. And when I did them 4 days and made that money, I quit all that shit. I sold everything that wouldn't fit in my car, and I drove to California because winter had come, and wasn't nobody trying to hear no fucking jokes on State Street in December. So I drove where it's supposed to be warm all year round. They lied. It ain't warm all year round in California. But I found Venice Beach. I ended up doing comedy there for 9 years. From 1986 to 95, I would do 5 1-hour shows nonstop. I never missed a weekend. I was doing... And you have to cut your phones off when you're in the studio. They tell you that as soon as you come in. I'm sorry, this is very important. I have to take this. I would never stop in the middle of a live interview except for Oz Scott. How are you, sir? Okay. But have you looked at it? Well, let me tell you, something new got added. We found our girl star. We found her this morning, brother, and it's very exciting. I will talk to you soon. And thank you. You still on it? Thank you. All right. Great. I'm sorry. That was the great Oz Scott, one of the greatest black directors of television in this country. I mean, he's a bad boy. He's been doing it about 37 years. And I have a new sitcom I've just created. And I went to him to help me take it around. And so I was waiting for him to get with me. And that's my first call from him. I had to take that. Let me cut this off so that don't happen again. I am so sorry.
Oh, no,
I apologize.
That's some legendary shit right there.
Yeah, so that was some real cool shit. And
I'm gonna leave that in there with the phone ring because I think it's.
I think you should leave all that. All that's entertaining.
Okay.
Huh?
Because I can hear everything.
Oh, you had a conversation. We wasn't hiding. I don't do no hiding no more. I roll with God, so I don't do nothing that you can't see in the light.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, did you stop it?
No.
Are we still going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there'll be no disrobing.
No.
Okay. So anyway, so that's what sort of got me started and doing the comedy. I got to Venice Beach. I was doing my jokes on Venice Beach, but here's the thing: Venice Beach is the second largest attraction in Los Angeles, second only to Disneyland. So on any given Saturday or Sunday, there's 300,000 to 500,000 people walking up and down Venice Beach. So I had a built-in audience. All I had to do was stop and start telling jokes. And people would surround me. It'd be 500 to 700 people standing around me listening for an hour. They listen for 40 minutes because I do 40 minutes of comedy and 20 minutes to get my money, right? But I have a hook. You always got to have a hook. You don't want to stop. Okay, the show is over. Now, pay me. No. People don't have no reason to stay. They break out running. But if you say, you know what? I'm about to end with my 3 funniest jokes. But first, I gotta get my money. Right? And then I would collect the money and then end with the jokes, and it went so well. But because it's California, all the actors are there. Everybody came to my show. Who's the guy? Rick James came all the time. Arsenio Hall came and brought Eddie Murphy. My idol is standing here watching me on Venice Beach. Lawrence Fishburne used to come every weekend. Them boys that work together. Ben Affleck and what's his partner? Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, they would come because they hadn't become stars yet, and they lived in Venice. They would come and sit and watch. I mean, everybody came to see my show, bro. And so did all the directors. So people would start giving me movies. You got to come audition for this. You got to come audition. I was out there only 2 months when they gave me my first movie, which was Hollywood Shuffle. Robert Townsend put me in a movie. I didn't have but one line. My line was, no, it's a muffler. Okay, but they gave me $1,004, and I joined the Screen Actors Guild. So I don't know what they talking about. There's no such thing as a small part. In fact, I remember my scene. I was in it with Damon Wayans, myself, and one other actor. We were supposed to be the FBI. And we jumped out the car, and there was a little box underneath the car, and they said, look, I think that's a bomb. My only line, no, it's a muffler. Oh, my God. That got me into the business. Because of that, I was able to do movies, and just movies kept coming, TV shows came, but I stayed on that beach for almost 5 years, and then I did Star Search. I got to tell you the Star Search story.
Yeah, when was that?
I tell people as actors, as comedians, you got to always bring your A game, no matter how many people are in the room. A lot of artists make the mistake of doing a lesser show if they don't have what they consider the perfect audience. That's a huge mistake. Anybody who is sitting down watching you is your perfect audience. You don't need no more than that. You perform for them because you don't know who's in the room. Sometimes it don't be but 11 people in the room, but you don't need but one person who can write that check. And so there's a guy named Pat Sajak. He has a show called Wheel of Fortune. Is that what it's called? Wheel of Fortune? Where he spin the wheel and shit?
Yeah,
okay, Wheel of Fortune. But they gave him a late night show like Johnny Carson. He had his own late night show. It lasted about 4 months. But he had his own late night show, and I auditioned for that at the Improv. It had to be totally clean in 3 minutes, and I sizzled it. But he didn't like me at all. But before I could leave the building, the executive producer of Star Search just happened to be sitting in that room. So he ran out and grabbed my arm, almost chopped him in the neck. You know, he grabbed my arm, little short white guy. And I said, what's up? He said, you want to be on Star Search? I said, man, look, I auditioned 3 times. He said, look, you want to be on Star Search or not? I said, yes, sir. He said, you're on Star Search. And like that got me in. And so I went, of course, 1 Star Search, won 100,000, gave half to the homeless, and then I went right back to the beach and did 4 more years telling jokes and passing my hat. But all along that time, people just kept coming and giving me a movie here, a TV show there, hiring me here, because I was out there with everybody, white, black, young, old, straight, gay, Asian, Hispanic, you named it. Some people didn't even speak English, some people didn't speak at all. And they surrounded me and would stay there for an hour because of the energy. Even if they didn't hear the joke, my movement, playing with people, my energy kept them wrapped up. And then I collect that money paper. Man, that paper was good. I'd be filling up sacks. That's how I came across my addiction, which was crack. I'm a crackhead. So I did crack for 23 years. And as of March 1st, I'll have 16 years of pure sobriety. But I started smoking crack because I think Robin Harris said it best. Cocaine is God's way of saying you making too much damn money. Okay, so I had all this money. I didn't owe nobody nothing. I had a little small room. I was living in a one-room and rooming with a roomer. So I didn't have nothing but money and idle time. And one day I said, what happened if I take this rock and drop it on this hot piece of glass? Okay, and then 23 years later, I found myself trying to dig myself out of that hole, you know. But yeah, that's what got me to there. That's what got me to Venice. And the rest, people just come to me, give me opportunities, but I always hustle and grind. I never take the audience for granted. I never take people for granted. I understand what I bring to the table, and I bring it with excellence. I'm the best at what I do. And if they don't want me, I don't take that personal. If they take another artist, I don't take that personal because I know who I am.
So my question is, when you were on drugs, like how did it affect you as a man and as a stand-up? It did it.
As a man, it fucked up a lot of stuff. As a stand-up, it didn't affect me at all because I was a functioning addict. Although I was dysfunctional, I was a functioning addict. I never got high before work. I never went to work high. I wouldn't do no shit like that. No, I love what my craft is. I respect what that is. I don't do that. But I couldn't wait to get off work and get my ass over there and go get me that next rock. And I wasn't one of them frantic, crawl around the floor butt naked looking for a rock addicts. I was an addict who saved my money and made the amount I wanted to get high. Like, if I was getting high, I was doing $100. I wasn't doing $100, then another $100. I wasn't doing all that, you know. I would get high till that little money ran out, and then of course I would do what most addicts do. I feel terrible about myself. Once I get through getting high, I'm out of dope. Now I start thinking about what my real life is. Now I feel sorry. I feel mad. I done spent money. I can't tell you how many relationships and friendships and opportunities I blew because a lot of times you be out there fucked up, and you think you don't even want to think you know you high. Everybody get high could look at a person who gets high and tell if they high or not. You know, so I didn't even know. I go into some places sweating like R. Kelly in the playground, and they know it ain't even hot. I'm sitting here just sweating and shit, trying to audition. Oh, I lost a lot of work, a lot of opportunities, and most importantly, I lost a lot of people's respect because they knew what I was doing, but they didn't really know. They can only guess from looking at me because you didn't know I was getting high unless you was getting high with me or unless you sold that shit to me because I wasn't out in the street like that. I wasn't like that. So I was a functional addict. I think I was blessed. I think God protected me long enough for me to get myself together.
So I'm trying to figure out how you were able to do that and then be Showboat, because that was one of, like,
I love
you
that
and Bernie
role.
Mac in that movie, bro.
I love that role. I loved Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac was one of my heroes.
Did y'all come up together in Chicago?
No, but we were both in Chicago, and we both started doing comedy around the same time. But I didn't really know him. He was ahead of me. He was ahead of me in his sharpness. Like, He used to do a room that was in a basement in downtown Chicago, and this nigga had background dancers. I ain't never heard of a comedian with background dancers. The Bernie Mac, the Macettes would come out and dance while he was on stage. I ain't never seen no shit. He was like Vegas. He was always sharp and the most confident artist I think I've ever seen. He was nothing but confidence. He knew he was shit. And not with an arrogance about it. He just knew who he was, man. So he knew he was gonna blow it up every place he went. He's the reason I was on Def Jam, cause I didn't even know Def Jam was coming. He went to them and said, "You doing this show? You shouldn't do this show without Michael Colyar." And that got me on. And I did so well. I ended up doing 6 seasons and hosting one. That was Bernie Mac. And when I got my own show on BET Live from LA, I called on all the kings of comedy, but he's the one who actually came. He's the one who came to the show. Mike. He was sitting on my show congratulating me and lifting me up. It wasn't about him. You know, it was about me. That's how he was with everybody. Like Bernie Mac wasn't going to the clubs afterward. He wasn't going to chase the girls and smoking joints and shit. He called his wife. He went home, got some red beans and rice and cornbread, and went to his home and laid on his bed and talked to his wife, man. He was the standard to look at. No, he was a cold brother, Bernie Mac, man. We miss him. I don't know why the great ones die young, you know. And, you know, I started Comedy Act Theater with them on day one. So it was Keenan Wayans, Damon Wayans, of course, the great Robin Harris, me and him fought, and me. And it was somebody, Ann Johnson. What's her name? Something Ann Johnson.
The one that played in...
Yeah, with the one leg, and I'm gonna get you, sucker. And she's hopping around with just the one leg. She was supposed to be a hooker or something, but she had one leg.
I was thinking about what's the
Anne Marie. That's right, Anne Marie Johnson. Oh, wonderful. She went on to be president of Screen Actors Guild. She's a cold sister, and her boyfriend then was Rusty Condiff. He did Fear of He didn't do Fear of a Black Hat, but he did a black horror film that was so great. I can't even think of the name of it. But all of us, it was like maybe 11 of us. And we did that together, Comedy Act Theater. I didn't know it was going to blow up to be what it was.
There was a Comedy Act Theater in Atlanta too, right?
Later on.
Okay.
Later on, they wrote off, same guy, Michael Williams put together. But then he opened one in Atlanta. But the original one was in Los Angeles, right in Leimert Park.
Okay.
And it was so awesome. But I didn't know how great it was because, first of all, I was getting high. And secondly, I had Venice Beach. I owned Venice Beach. I was the king of Venice Beach. So when I showed up out there, people would bow down. I was standing there, and crowds would stand around and pay me. And then I can go out and hang out and party and chase girls and get high and do all that shit. So I didn't feel like I needed anybody. My arrogance held me back. Because if I was paying attention, should have been at the Comedy Act Theater. Comedy Act Theater blew up. Everybody made their way. And you know they was really jamming because the white folks came from the studios and brought their ass into the hood to see what was going on at the Comedy Act Theater. And you know, Robin Harris was supposed to be the host of Def Jam. Did you know this?
I think Bob Sumner. I think Bob
told you that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was supposed to be. They created the show for Robin Harris. That's why they created that show. And then he up and died right before the show. So they took his protege, you know, which of course is Martin Lawrence. That's why sometimes it's being in the right place. It's not always what you know, it's who you know. The right person gives you the blessing. That gives you the opportunity. There's a lot of talented artists out here who can't get in because they don't have access. They don't have the person to bring you, the gatekeeper stop you. You don't know the right person, so no, you can't come in. You're not in their clique, you can't come in. So knowing the right people is everything. Somebody getting you in the door, because there's tons of people who can't carry my luggage artistically. But shit, they got 2 series and 5 cars. You know what I'm saying? Because they knew the right person. And once you get in, then your craft will carry you. But you got to get in that door first. You know, so yeah, and I came up with some great Robert Townsend did it with us when we started Comedy Act Theater.
Chicago again. He's on the west side, right?
I don't know what part Townsend was in, but he was one of my first friends out there when he first went there. I remember his grandmama gave him a jukebox. And he called me. I went to his apartment in Hancock Park and helped him carry a jukebox into his house, his apartment. And that's when he told me the greatest advice I ever had. Don't let other people act out in your dream. We won't say a name, but you asked me earlier about one artist and why she wasn't on my show anymore. Because she was acting out in my dream. This wasn't her dream. It's my dream. And you can't let people do that because people will come on board your thing and try to take over, try to tell you what to do and show you the direction. They weren't even there. They weren't doing shit until you put your thing together. And then you bring them in. Now they know better than you. It's like familiarity breeds contempt. It's very, very true. And then after being with you for a while, and they think like they know better than you. They know more than you. Well, really? So how did you even get here? Oh, I remember. I brought your ass in. That's how you got here. But now you don't realize that I'm the king I am. So you can't let nobody act out in your dream, man. You know, so it was like I got a chance to meet everybody on Venice Beach. Everybody would come out, man. It was an awesome, awesome time. And it defined me. It defined me as a human being, those 9 years on Venice Beach. It took me through my trials and tribulation, but it also showed me who I am and who I could be and how I could reach everybody. My comedy, if you speak English, I got you. I don't care where I go on the planet, you know. It's like some people I'm training, like I have a gay comedian friend named Dammit DJ. He's on my show at least twice a month. The kid is brilliant. So I put him on my show in the city. He came he did my show, but I realized he only is doing comedy for a gay audience. You can't do comedy for one audience. You got to do comedy for everybody. A lot of black comedians make a mistake of only doing black comedy. So they kill in a black audience, but the first time they get a white audience, they fall to pieces. They can't get it right. If they understand English, they should be able to get what you're talking about, and you should be able to present it in such a way that you tantalize them.
See, that's why I had to learn. I had always been told that I was I wasn't a so-called urban or black comic because of my intellect, I guess.
Yes.
But I remember moving to New York about 10 years ago, and I had troubles doing international audiences. Because I think it's called Comedy Time. It was like a streaming television show on YouTube. And they booked me for it. And I bombed. And my partner, my boy Leonard Oots, who ended up kind of blowing up, he make fun of me to this day about it. But ever since then, I used to play at this club called LOL in Times Square. And I learned how to do not mainstream, I learned how to do international. So no matter where somebody was from, like as a historian, if you say, hey, I'm from Australia, I would have something for you. I would say, oh, y'all still shooting them niggas down there?
Yeah.
And then I talk about the Tasmanian Devils, et cetera, et cetera. But I had to learn that, and I teach a comedy class in St. Louis as well. And I always tell my students to be universal. And it's crazy that you said the gay comedian, because I had a gay cat, white guy, took my class, and he was just doing a bunch of gay material. Right. And I was like, I'm not saying don't be who you are, but I'm like, you don't want to put yourself in a box, because if all you're talking about is gay stuff, some of the gay people might like it, but what about the people who aren't gay who just want to come to laugh?
Yeah, and what about the gay people who object to gay people? The straight people who object to gay people. They're sitting right there in your audience. So if your whole show is just about gay, and they're already uncomfortable with gay, then you've lost that portion of your audience. So it should be international, and you could talk about gay things. Like I tell gay jokes at my show, I tell a gay joke, and I tell the audience, I got a lot of gay friends. And the first thing they say to me is, Michael, I want to be treated like everybody else is treated. Well, shit, I make fun of everybody else. So make fun of your ass too.
The shit you said last night. You said there's two gay dudes that live together.
Yes. Now wait, two of the gay people in the audience. Did you watch the second show?
Yes.
So in the second show, two people raised their hand that was gay. One was white, one was black, and the white girl raised her hand first. Then she pointed to the black girl. Turns out they've been married 11 years. Turns out that's my cousin. The sister is my cousin,
Flo. The one that was in the green room.
Yeah, Flo. Yeah. She was the one in the green room. I didn't even recognize that was her that I was talking to in the audience, and her wife. I didn't even recognize that. They were just two gay people.
Now, that was the first show. The second one, when you did the bit where you said...
right, that was the first show.
What did you say? You said that you was playing the game. He was like, we're going to play hide and go seek. And if I find you, I'm going to suck your dick. He said, what if I can't find you? He said, what if you can't find me? He said, I'm gonna be right behind the couch.
You know?
Hey, nigga.
It's crazy shit, but my guy, DJ, comes out and he says the most brilliant thing. He said, you know, after I was gay for a while, I said, I'm gonna try to be with a woman, you know? So, yeah, I opened her leg and he did this. To open her leg, well, it's a bitch laying on her side. What the fuck? What are you doing? If you're gonna show your universal audience that you're trying to get some, you open her legs like this. These are things you learn, so you're doing it for a universal audience who know what you're talking about. And then he said, and I looked at it, and I said, well, why is it so wet? That's hilarious to me. That's a fucking scream to me. But because he's doing it to the general audience instead of to an individual, it doesn't get the same laugh. And I was telling him, you should look directly at a man who's going to be very uncomfortable and say, have you had pussy, sir? Have you pussy before? Why is it so wet? So now everybody's focus is only on you two. So now it's intense. And when you say that, he's going to laugh and everybody's watching going to laugh. So now he's on his mission now to adjust his piece so it could work for everybody, but you still get to tell your story, you know? Yeah.
Now, something else I wanted to talk about. You talked, because we call them stock jokes.
Yeah.
Right? And one of my buddies was talking about you yesterday. He was like, that's my top 10 comedian of all time, in my top 10. Mm-hmm. And I had never really watched you, but I know you do stock jokes. And there's a kind of a mixed feeling about it amongst comedians. And he was like, nah, bro, I just love me cold. I watched you yesterday for the first time, I think probably ever.
Wow.
And it was so brilliant. Like, number one, you were mixing in your stuff with stuff that was stock. And you were saying, hey, this is not mine, but et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. I didn't know until today that you just told me that you were an actor, a trained actor. Like now all of it makes, like you have probably some of the most impeccable timing that I've ever seen as a stand-up. And then the way you articulate, like I know how good I am. I know how great I am. Yeah. But I felt like a little kid watching you last night. Like how you were commanding the room.
Yeah.
The articulate, then the timing, bro. You a bad motherfucker, bro.
I don't treat it like stand-up. I treat it like theater.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I'm doing
because my mother
theater,
used to tell me, she said, you ought to take acting classes. Yeah. And now after watching you last night, I told my mama today, I said, Mama, your boy was killing. I said, I gotta take some classes. Because it was I've never seen that type of comedy,
I'm
bro.
doing theater, but it's just comedy.
Yeah.
I'm just doing comedy theater. So I'm doing theater. So I don't tell a joke. I act the joke out. That way you visualize it and see the joke. So I could say, lady went to the store and she asked, could I get a gallon of ice cream? I said, we don't have any ice cream. God damn it, motherfucker. Okay, I'll take a half gallon. I just told you we don't have any chocolate ice cream, motherfucker. Okay, I'll just take one scoop of chocolate. God damn it. And then he goes into the story, right? But the whole point is I can stand and say it, or I can act it out. And I become the woman who's asking for the ice cream, and my feelings are hurt, and I'm thrown, and then I come back, and I ask again. So they're laughing at the theatrics of. That's why I said when I was doing on Venice Beach, the audience loved me because of the physicality. I'm running around and telling the jokes because out there I was talking about heavy as shit. I was talking about racism. I was talking about AIDS. I was talking about crack addictions. While I was fucking addicted, I was talking about crack and how to get off of crack. And so I was saying things that people wasn't saying to people. But in between, I poke in them jokes. The Red Fox joke about how the lady went to the doctor and said, Doctor, you know you fucked up, don't you? You gave me the wrong medication. How you know it's the wrong medication? Because I'm starting to grow hair on my chest. Hair on your chest? How far down does it go? All the way down to my dick. So to act it out makes it way funnier than just saying it. And then I want to tell my story as well. So when I'm doing jokes and putting in things, I want to also let them understand who I am and what I'm teaching. Because I'm always teaching when I'm doing my comedy. I'm always trying to make you remember that you have worth and that you have value and that you're an awesome being. Just because you woke up this morning, you already won right there. So now what are you going to do with it? And those are the only people I hang out with. People who think like that, who think that we can have anything, be anything, go anywhere as long as you keep God first.
That was the other thing.
Yeah.
I was watching a motivation. It was like, that wasn't just stand-up comedy, bro. Like, you could have charged people for 3 different, aspects of what you gave. Because the motivational speaking, the theater, and the comedy. Mm-hmm. Like, it was amazing, man. And it's funny you mentioned talking about being on Venice Beach and how you were doing what you were doing. I started really practicing stand-up, and I don't think I've ever told this on camera.
Okay.
But I'm a historian by trade. Like, I went to Fisk University, I studied history, and I went to Tennessee State, I got my master's in education. And the plan was to get the PhD in history, but I started back doing stand-up in 2009. Mm-hmm. And I never went back to school. Mm-hmm. But while I was in Nashville, I was in grad school, and I said, I'm in the South, and I've never visited a slave plantation. I said, I want to go visit one. My girlfriend at the time, we went to Belle Meade Plantation. And I'm just noticing.
I thought you was gonna say Walmart. All right,
ooh, hilarious. But we go to Belle Meade Plantation, and I'm noticing that they would never talk about the slaves. They would, kind of jettison slavery, and they would call them paid workers. And so I asked this old white man in the gift shop. I say, "Hey, are you guys hiring?" He said, "Yeah." So I filled out the paperwork, ended up getting a job, and I would give tours. And I'm dressed like a slave, like a fucking house nigga, with all this period costume on from the 1800s. Right. And I'm giving these tours. So I'm telling them about the history of this plantation but also I'm talking about slavery in a way that nobody ever talked about it. And I would talk about the gruesome stuff about slavery. I would talk about, what was happening in Africa prior to black people coming here, because a lot of the people who come to the tours, they would say, well, I know slavery was bad, but, at least it's better than being Africa walking around naked, going crazy. And then I would give them lectures on African empires that existed prior to, invasion. And I would talk about some heavy stuff, but since I knew it was heavy, I would put in material. So I was doing stand-up while doing a 55-minute tour. So it was history, comedy, history, comedy, history, comedy. And so that's how I kind of got my chops.
That's what made them love you.
Yeah, I would get standing ovations and tips and shit, and then eventually they fired my black ass.
Because you did too much.
Yeah, my mom said, nigga, how'd you get fired from a plantation?
How'd you get fired from being a slave? You can't even fire slaves. You got to sell them.
They got to run off? But yeah, so it reminded me of that.
Wow.
So what else I want to ask before I get you out of here?
I ain't in a hurry to go nowhere. I had to drive over here and it's raining and shit, so take your time.
Okay. I want to go back to House Party 3. Like, tell me how you got it and what do you remember about that movie, man?
Well, that was a fluke. They gave me the part. I didn't have to audition. And back then, I had to audition for everything. But they had been seeing me do comedy everywhere. They saw me on Venice Beach, and they wanted to put together the greatest group of comedians they could put on, so every role would be a comedian. And somehow I just got a call and the offer. And it put me in bad states with them because I still didn't know how to negotiate my shit. So they had offered me a certain amount for X amount of days. And they gave me the job, and then they came back and said, "Oh, our budget is tighter than we thought. We got to give you $1,000 less." And I said, "No, we can't do that. You have to give me what you promised me." And it was funny because back then, there's a woman who's an actress. I'm trying to think of what her name is. She had just sued a film company because they promised her a certain amount. And then when she got there, they changed their mind. It's a very famous case, and it just happened. And when she sued, she won. And they had to give her what they said they're going to give her, and it became a rule in Hollywood. Once you make the deal, you got to follow through with the deal. And they was like, they want to give me $1,000 less. And I was already excited to get 1,000. So 1,000 more than they wanted to give me. I wanted that money. They promised me. So I went to my agents, and at the time I had the biggest agents in the country, who's still probably one of the biggest, which is CAA. Yeah. So I went to CAA and told them they reneging on the money, and I need them to do it right. And they're like, "Well, you need to be a team player." I said, "I'm not on their fucking team. I don't know them. How am I a team player? I just got here, So I'm gonna need them to give me that money." So they gave me the money, but I think they was a little salty about it. But you never saw it. You never saw the saltiness on the set. When I went on the set, it was nothing but joy, nothing but laughter. They let me ad-lib my ass off, and I killed that shit. And to this day, I still think the best. I'm not just saying it just because I was in it. I think the best of the house parties is House Party 3.
Oh, definitely.
Because we had everybody burning back. Chris Tucker got his first big break out that thing. Simply Marvelous, Ronaldo Ray, and on and on. So it's a really great experience, and I have to say, it is the most, it has given me more than any show I've ever done. Out of everything I've ever done, nobody remembers me like House Party 3. And that's almost 30 years ago, and kids come up to me and know every damn line. And these are kids. A lot of them weren't even born. Yeah. And they know every line. They know every line. And I just smile like I know what they're talking about. I don't remember them lines. I don't know what the hell they talking about. But to this day, and some people get mad because they remember your character. Man, Showboat. The guy doing Dynamite, he hated that. Jimmy J.J. Walker, for years. He get mad if you come up and say Dynamite because it wore him out. That's what made him a star, and everybody was saying it. I ain't gonna never get tired of people calling me Showboat. I ain't gonna never get tired of people asking me for toe jam crackers. Damn right, I got something in the car right now, bro. Something for everybody. Because it's the thing that keeps my career and keeps me alive. If nothing else ain't happening, all the black people remember House Party 3, and mostly because of some of the shit I did in it. So they like, "Oh, that's Showboat, that's just so." So I reached the old heads like me. I'm 68, but I don't feel a day over 59. But they reach the old heads, but I also reach all the kids. Young people come to see me. What is Showboat gonna do? Plus, of course, Martin always keep me out there. So I played Gina's boss, Mr. Whitaker, on Martin. So many people watch it, and House Party 3 and Martin, both of them are ran every day. somewhere in the country. So for 25 years, people been watching my stuff. So when they see me now, they feel like they know me because for 10, 15 years, they've been watching me on Martin and all these other shows, right? So I just knock on wood and thank every producer who's ever let me do anything, because most of it I was learning, and then just everything in your life is either a lesson or a blessing. If you're lucky, it's both. And so I would always try to listen. One of the things I'm learning now, and when I go to a meeting, I always want to be the last one to speak, and first of all, because it makes everybody else in the room feel like you care what they have to say. So you listen to what they have to say first, then that gives you all the information you need so you can intelligently say what you want to say. But most people barge in, they already know what their thing is. Man, look, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, dog died, shit on the floor. And you miss things, and you also throw people off. Oh, it's a lot. You want to come in quietly, give them your position, and then tell them the things you're going to put in it after you hear what they have to say, So I'm learning the whole time. I'm still, a labor. I'm still learning this shit. I am a star, but it's not because of accomplishments. It's because of what people are visually seeing me do. I ain't got my money yet. People say, Michael, you've been in this business 30 years, although I've been in 39. You've been in this business 30 years, and you've never changed. That's because I ain't get my money yet. When I get my money, I ain't fucking with y'all no more. I'm buying me all new friends, nigga. No, I wouldn't change no matter what, because I really live for my mother and God. I really live for them.
Tell me about your mom, quickly, if you can.
My Mary Lena Smith is everything. She was a great, great mother. We was talking about her the other day, how she wouldn't let us interfere in our other brother's business. Like, if I didn't like one of my brother's girlfriends or wives, my mother would say, stay out of that, Michael. That has nothing to do with you. Even if my mama knew what was going on wasn't kosher, that's not her business, and she kept us out of that. She insisted that we did all the right things. I had a mother and a father, and I'm sorry, y'all, so many people who don't, but I had both parents, and my father died when I was 12. But by the time he died, him and my mom had taught me everything I need to know to live without them on the planet. That's what I think you're supposed to do with your kids immediately. They taught us how to cook, how to clean, how to iron.
How'd your dad die?
My dad was an alcoholic, and he was just everything. He was brilliant, but he was a professional alcoholic. He ain't play when it came to that alcohol. He'd drink a fifth of booze a day and smoke 3.5 packs of Pall Mall. Is it Pall Mall?
Pall Mall. My grandma used to smoke Pall Mall Gold.
Pall Mall Gold. And at first, they didn't even have filters. It was like smoking wood. And my dad was diabetic, which meant he shouldn't have taken one drink, but he'd drink a fifth of booze every day, and we think at 51 his heart exploded. He up and died. I mean, he was a diabetic, but he would be drunk, and so drunk he taught my two big brothers how to shoot him up with the insulin, because sometimes he'd just be too drunk to give it to him himself, and he'd come in, collapse on the couch, and they knew what time to give it to him, and they rolled his sleeve back and give him his insulin, and I just think his poor little heart couldn't take it. So at 51, he died, and I was 12 then. So I was just going into 7th grade. But I already knew all the basic stuff I needed, and I'd already learned to hustle. I was hustling since I was 7, So I already knew how to hustle. And when I say hustle, that don't mean beat and cheat people. That meant I knew how to put together a program where I could give you something and you would give me money in return. In fact, as a kid, I started out by selling 2 for penny candies because I lived in the projects, Robert Teller Homes, 4352 South State, apartment 909. And most kids weren't allowed to leave the building, so they can go up and down on different floors and play with their friends, but they couldn't leave the building. My brother would take me across the street to the candy store. I'd buy 2 for penny candies and 3 for penny candies, and I'd come back and sell them for a penny each at my mom's house at the apartment 909. I have a box upside down. I have the candies there. I have the cookies there. If you bought a box of chips, 6 of those bags were free. So I was making money as a kid, so I always sort of knew how to hustle. This is just my newest hustle. Entertainment, man. Entertainment, edutainment. I want to teach people. I want people to walk away from my show feeling better. If you came to my show and you just laughed, nigga, I have fucking failed. If you haven't walked away and felt a little better, a little different, you haven't left my show and you don't want to hug me, I have failed. I haven't succeeded at what I'm trying to do. I'm lifting you up. I'm bringing you in. And some people don't even want to be at the show. Those are the ones I look at. Those are the ones I want to change before the show is over. Because some guys come because they want the coochie and their girlfriend's going to the comedy show. You coming or not? So they get there and they sit there like this. And them are the ones I go right for them. You know, I fuck with them. Oh, she made you come tonight, didn't she? Not, she didn't make you come like you want to come, but she made you come to the show. You know, now they got to laugh a little because I'm fucking with them, you know. And I know that shirt. I know they sell that shirt in your size. You know, and so just little shit like that. And now I see people go from like this to opening up, to now talking to me, now talking back and forth, now high-fiving each other. That's when I know I won. When I've turned that audience from, who is this nigga, who he think he is? Because I walk out there like I'm all that in a bag of chips, because, nigga, I am all that, and I bring the chips. And I'm clear on that, and it's not about ego. It's about confidence. You can't win at anything in life if you're not confident. You got to be clear on who you are. And confidence don't mean you better. I don't feel like I'm better than anybody, but ain't no motherfucker better than me. I go in there in even territory, and what you bring is what you're going to get back, what you bring to the table. It's like life is like an empty box. You only get out of it what you put in. You know, so I come in, I try to make people feel great, that they didn't just come to some event and hear a joke. I want to feel better about themselves, to love their neighbor, to have fun, to high five, to bounce out of there feeling good because they saw that shit. They hung out with Michael Colyar. That's why I'm selling the pictures. They don't care about the picture. They just want to be able to say, I hung out with him. He did some different shit. Yeah. And so that's what I'm just trying to do. And I don't know the answers to everything. Trust me. I'm learning like everybody else, man. I'm trying to figure this shit out just like some other fella in the dark feeling his way to the door. I'm just trying to learn it as I go. I don't want to offend nobody. I don't want to take nothing. I don't feel like I'm better than other comedians, although I am. But I don't ever try to act like that. I don't act like everything I get, I'm not entitled. Everything I get, I earned it, or I hope you feel like I'm worthy of it, because I don't want you giving me gifts and handouts. I'm not that nigga. And I'm just thinking about it. We left our driver outside. We never let him in. We've been here an hour, and he's sitting in the car. I forgot that. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, go ahead. It just hit me. See how vapid I am, how full of myself.
You see that big-ass word, vapid. I heard that a couple weeks ago on YouTube, and I'm putting my lexicon there.
I'm so full of me, I forgot the main guy taking me around and sitting out in the car wondering, when they gonna let me in? You know, but he'll be all right. He'll be all right as soon as the swelling go down.
Another question. What advice would you give to a young comedian?
Well, the advice that I never learned until recently, it's the most important thing. You must write. You have to write material. You got to constantly write material. Also, you got to get on stages. If you're young, you're new at it. Even if you're old and you're new at it, you got to get on stages. I would tell people, dang, I usually charge for this advice. I would tell people that if you want to be a comic, you have to do open mics, and you need to do 6 per week minimum. And I don't mean 1 every day for 6 days. You can do 3 one night, 2 one night, because every city has open mics, every major city. But I would tell comics, and you're talking about advice to comics, I would tell comics, go to general open mics. Don't go to a comedy open mic. You're going to be fucked up, because they're going to be comparing you with the comedian before you and the comedian after you. Go to a regular open mic where you got somebody playing piano, somebody singing a song, some bitch playing a flute, you know, somebody doing poetry. And I ain't even supposed to use the B word. I did that because I thought it was funny. My wife don't allow me to use the B word. Even if I'm talking about a pregnant dog, she said, because it might not be her fault. Anyway, so all these different things, and you're the only comedian, you'll get more light at that show. Because they've heard all these other things, now they see the comedian, oh, now we're going to laugh. So you're not being compared to anything. So I would say do open mics until you get your 5 minutes. Everybody should have 5 minutes. 5 minutes of material that you can say anywhere in America. That's clean and family friendly. You take your funniest 5 minutes, and what I actually do is say take your funniest 2 minutes. You take your 2 minutes, but okay, you take 5 minutes and you come on stage and you do 5 minutes, but you tape everything. When I see new artists and they're not taping their set, they're dumb. It's gonna take them long to get there. Every phone has a goddamn recorder in it. Just sit on the chair next to you and tell your jokes. You do it to find out what they laughed at. So when you come back, you play it back just like the sports tape. You don't have to see you. All you do is hear you. Everything they laughed at, you keep. Everything they didn't laugh at, don't ever say that shit no more. Okay, so let's say you go in with 5 minutes. They laughed at 2. When you go up the second time you go up somewhere, you start with the 2 they laughed at and you add 3 new ones and you do the same process. When it's over, you listen again. Now they've laughed at 3 of those jokes. Now you only got 2 to put in. You start with the 3 they laughed at, you add 2 more. You just keep doing that till you got 5 jokes that they laugh at every time you come up there. Now you go to open mic for comedians, because now you got a set. Now you go to the comedians open mic, and if you good and you dedicated, other comics will help you. They will say, man, that joke will be really good. But if your mother was eating peanut butter instead of mayonnaise, nigga, everybody gonna laugh. And then you add that, and people start helping you. Then they say, man, you know some other clubs and such, because they know you're serious about the game. The people who aren't serious, like the person we was talking about earlier today, the people who aren't serious about the game, they're not going to do the homework. Forget about that shit. They're going to laugh and look at your face. Yeah, okay, I get it. And then they'll keep on doing the same shit the same way. But if you do the same shit the same way, you get the same thing. If you want to keep getting what you getting, just keep on doing what you doing. But if you want to change your life, you got to change your mind. You know what I'm saying? So you get in your mirror, you work your material. I tell every artist, write your shit. There's so many people who haven't even written the joke. They just got it in their head and they say it. You got to write it. When you write it, you reinforce it in your mind. You got to write it with a pencil or a pen, not type it. If you type it, you type exactly what you're thinking. When you write it, there's a correlation between writing and your mind that connects. And when you start writing a joke, you start hearing other aspects of that joke to add to it. So you want to write your set out, then get in the mirror and do your set until you could do it flawlessly. Then you take that shit to open mic. And the people who see you sharp, they're attracted to you. Then you got what they want. They want to succeed, and you're watching you succeed. That they come right on over. Man, let me tell you about some other open mics you should go for. Let me tell you some other comedians. Hey, man, I wouldn't do the piece like that. I would try like this. That's what makes the magic. But you just, every day, you think your titties gonna win? It ain't. It ain't. Everybody got titties. Niggas got titties now. Everybody got titties. Ain't nobody impressed with that shit. If you think cute is gonna win, nigga, you retarded. Everybody cute. Fucking men are cute. Now, it don't matter. It's not about the visual. What do you bring to the table? Do you capture me? You got to make me laugh right away. Otherwise, you lose me. If you make me laugh, like if you got a 5-minute set, you don't have time to build your audience. You got to hit them motherfuckers with the first thing when you come out. When I did Star Search, it was 2.5 minutes, man. You had 2.5 minutes to beat your component. So you ain't got no time to tell a joke and slowly make them like you. No, you got to come out with one thing. And as soon as it come out your mouth, everybody go, oh, shit. Now they lean in because they want to see what else you got. So come with your shit. Write it out. Get in the mirror. Do it till you're really confident. First go to general open mics. Graduate from that to comedy open mics. From there, ain't nobody going to be able to hold you back. Once you start doing comedy open mics, you're going to have such a fever for this thing. It's going to drive you crazy. And pay attention to the other artists. Don't steal their shit. But what do they do that moved you? What is the thing they say that made you go, damn, that's true? And find out how you can find some of the truth like that you can give the people. People just want to walk away feeling good. People do not come out of the house so you can make them feel like shit. You know, you get treated like shit at home for free. You know, you don't pay 20% tip on that. You pay the tip because people make you feel good. If you telling jokes where you beating people up and making people feel like, I joke about people in my audience, but I don't make them feel bad. I talk about a bald head dude in such a way that he's laughing more than anybody else. That's the guy who's coming back to every show I ever do anywhere because I made him a star for a minute. I made him a star for 30 seconds, you know. I do this one, if you bald headed, I'll be talking in the middle of my joke. I go, oh shit. I'm sorry. Hold up, y'all. Fuck. Whew. Sir, can you just slide over? I don't, just like an inch. Yeah, because the glare coming off your head is fucking me up. I can't see shit over here. It's all sparkly. I can't see shit. And he's rolling now. And I'm usually going to the people who aren't laughing or the person next to them isn't laughing. So you center it on them. Now they're laughing. Now they're part of it. Especially niggas who call themselves gangsters and shit. They don't laugh, nigga. Gangster, nigga. I don't laugh. I'll get the picture, but I don't smile. When I make them laugh, nigga, I have fucking won, man. You know, so that's what I shoot for. You know, the easy target. You can say peanut butter, they laugh. You know, and then here's the first and most important thing. Your audience has to like you. Period. If your audience don't like you, I mean, what the fuck you say? You're not going to win. But if your audience likes you, nigga, you can say peanut butter and they'll scream, holler. Like I remember when Richard Pryor was doing Live from Sunset Strip. And Eric was filling in, and he had already walked out to start the show, and two white people comes up and they're late, and so they come right to the front of the stage and they working their way to their seat. And Richard Pryor said, "Oh, hey, white people, I'm glad y'all late because if my jokes don't work, I'll take my dick out and piss on you." That does not sound funny to me. But when I tell you people were hollering, they was hitting the fucking stage, they was screaming. It was the funniest thing in the world because they came from Richard Pryor. Eddie Murphy, he could say anything right now, and you will fall out laughing because he brings with him a certain, I don't know, aura of knowingness with his comedy, and you get it, and you want to ride with him. So your first thing when you come out, you want your audience to like you. You don't want to attack them. You don't want to make them the butt of the joke. You want to have fun with them, but don't make them the butt of the joke because they'll never forget it. And they'll tell 10 other people, "Fuck Michael Colyar, bitch ass nigga. I come out there, he gonna say some shit about these jeans. Man, I paid $42 for these jeans." You know what I'm saying? Don't go to his show. Don't go to his show. But I take the same pair of jeans and say, "Nigga, my sister got them." You know, now he laughing too. "Oh, she a big bitch, but she got them," right? So now you're having fun with him. It's like almost like a dance. Oh, he's coming to everything you do. When he go out there, he buying everything you selling. He buying the fan that the women are buying because they got menopause. He buying whatever the hell you selling because they now want to take a piece of you home with them. They want to tell their friend, "Oh, I got this from Mike Colyar signed this. I stood next to him." And that's where you want to get to with your audience. Like Les Brown, he teaches me, and he's a motivational speaker out of Detroit. He teaches me that it's more about the merchandise than anything else. He said, "I might make $1 million doing motivational speaking, but I make $3 million selling keychains and mugs and shit. So I don't want a standing ovation. I want a running ovation. I want you to get through with the show and be so fucking thrilled. You run to the table and buy some of all the shit I got." That's the goal. That's what you shoot for. I always know how good my show is by how much merchandise I've sold. When I kick ass, they stand in that line until every dollar is spent. When I do okay, they buy some stuff and they move on. I can judge it by how much they purchase, how well I killed it, you know. And every show must have a beginning, a middle, and an end. That was another problem I had with my friend DJ. Damn it, DJ, is he never had a killer end joke. And I remember I talked to him about it, and then the next time he went out, he said, "Okay, I'm going to end with, I'm just going to go on off stage. Good night." He bailed. You got to have one joke that they're going to always go crazy for because then they'll remember you. Even if your stuff was funny in the front, if you get to the end and peter out, they're not going to remember. But if you get to the end and hit them with one, then my last joke, "Oh, this is a motherfucker here. Matter of fact, just give me the money now before I do this joke. So because you niggas going around and give me my money." Then you hit them with a joke that'll take them down. Just take them down. So that's all. That's all I would say. It may be too much.
So, two more.
Okay.
Now this is for my purpose, because I know, like when I met him, he said he never met me, and I'm like,
no, but I've been hearing about you for so long.
So tell me what you heard. Number one, number two, tell me what you saw. What criticism or what appraisal did you make of my set last night? Because I know you watched me, and I was happy. So tell me what you thought.
Well, first I was expecting a certain thing because I was looking for you. Because I knew you were on the show and people have been telling me about you, Willie Lynch Jr., Willie Lynch Jr. First of all, I couldn't even understand a nigga taking that name. Because you know who Willie Lynch was.
Yes, sir.
Right? And I was like, what nigga would want that motherfucking name? So it takes courage for you to even have that name. And they would talk about how funny you are and how sharp you are and how smart you are. But I never saw you. I never saw you perform anywhere. So I didn't know you was going to be on the show. I knew I was coming to do this. But I didn't know you was on my show until the day of because I usually pick my feature. But the 6 guys I work with was all on other gigs. So I said, y'all go ahead and pick the feature. And they picked you. And so I said, I can't wait for you to come in. Then you walk through the door. Nigga, you don't have to open your mouth. I loved you when you walked through the door. You carry an essence of excellence with you, brother. Everything from your shoes to what you wear to how you speak to people is very, very excellent. That's half the battle. You already won that. If you went out and was mediocre, I'd still love you because you came out and sizzled your appearance. Just coming there. And it's something that I talk to people about all the time, too. Like, people want to dress any kind of way, look any kind of way, and think that the audience will embrace you. They can't because they don't know but so much. And when you see a black person, the world is already scared of black people because white people been saying negative shit about us since the beginning of time. Look out for the black man. Oh, he's gonna rob you. Hold your purse. You know, I went to a club, into a bar one night, and the lady at the end of the bar saw me, and this, excuse me, my wife Sonia, excuse me, baby, this bitch pulled her purse closer. I'm over at the door. She looked over and pulled her purse closer. Like niggas can levitate your shit and take, bitch, we don't want your. I got on the elevator once, and a white guy stood there and slowly worked his hand around to his back pocket and patted his wallet to make sure his fucking wallet was still there. I had just got on the elevator. Am I magic, nigga? Did I make it pop out your pocket and drop it, man? What the fuck? I'm only saying it to say, what is that? The white folks have been scared of us forever because that is the narrative that's been said worldwide. It's so bad that even light-skinned Africans are harsher to darker-skinned Africans. In Africa, they spend $65, not million, billion dollars on lightening creams, bleaching creams to lighten their face, and everybody knows that bleaching cream causes cancer. They'd rather take a chance on cancer than they would take a chance on being dark. You know what I'm saying? So we get that narrative. I'm not saying it to beat up our villains who put us in a position. I'm saying to the people who are hearing this, know how to walk accordingly, knowing that they're already scared of you, knowing that they already don't know what's coming. I fuck the white people in my audience at top of the show. Very top of the show. First thing I do is fuck with them, but I fuck with them in such a way that they feel comfortable being in that room. Because they're the minority in my room. And so they go from not knowing what to expect to this guy's just funny in general and for everybody. And that's who you want to be. If you want to get your money, you got to be for everybody. You can't be for just your pocket of people. Now, you don't have to jump through no fiery hoop for white people. You don't have to do that. Tupac taught us that a long time ago. Tupac said just be true to yourself and be true to your hood, to your community, and the people will come out. And once black people love you, white people coming. Everybody want to be black, except black people, because we know how much heavy lifting is involved. We are flyer than anybody else. We got more style, more movement. We beat everybody in everything. That's why your boy Trump is going fucking crazy trying to build up his white constituency. Anything black, he's trying to wipe that shit out. Anything have to do with black people, let's get that out the way. They don't want us to have education. You have education, you learn who you are and what was done to you. And when you find out who you are as a black person, you stand up and you walk differently. You don't go along with that stereotype they created us. So now you got to be the nigga. The nigga. You don't have to be the nigga. You ain't got to be that nigga. You could be the man. You know, be the man in every room. It don't matter what room I walk in. I walk in that bitch like I'm the king that I am. I don't give a fuck. You know, and it's not about arrogance. It's about I have the same worth that you do. I have the same value that she does or he does. But you walk in your room with that confidence, with that arrogance. White folks come over to me all the time just to compliment me. And I just walked in the door. They go, Miss, I love those slacks. Oh, sir, I love that hat. Because I'm not dressing for them. I'm dressing for me. You know, like my drawers, fabulous. Y'all ain't going to see them. But I dress for me, man. And if I like how I look, I hope you do. And if not, fuck you too. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be me, be centered. And with all the language and stuff, y'all might not understand that it's God first for me. Everything is God for me. God first is the center of all of it. Only God. None of the stuff I'm doing could ever have happened without God being generous to me. Without God forgiving me and being merciful to me. Man, I've done so much horrific shit and terrible shit. I never thought that God would forgive me and love me and let me be me. And now I'm out of that bullshit. Now I'm only about trying to do the right thing, but God still nurtured me and loved me through it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be bad to people. What the hell? How did I get so popular? This is St. Louis. Oh, that's the guy that we got locked outside. He don't know what the hell is going on. This is an interview, y'all. Y'all ain't never seen an interview like this. Calm down. Anthony, if you had came to the door and knocked, we'd have let you in an hour ago. We're in the middle of the interview. Are you coming in or you just calling to say hi? Yeah, just knock on the door. Can you open it for him? Yeah, she'll come to the door and let you in, but don't bang on it because we're in an interview. All right, I'm sorry. So, I don't know how. You know it's not a party till you spill something. Don't worry about that phone. It needs to stay on the ground because it keeps going off. But anyway, I'm just saying, be true to you, man. Be true to yourself. Don't jump through fiery hoops to make other people like you because they really won't. Instead, they'll do the opposite. They'll despise you because they see you're trying. It's the same thing about performance on stage. When you perform on stage, you can't perform for the audience. You got to perform for you. You gotta do it for you. That's why I ask my audience, can you tell I love what I do? I would do this shit for free if somebody would pay for all the other shit I like. I would do it for free. But no, if you out there and you having joy and the audience sees it, they gets it. They're happy because you're happy. Well, you out there struggling? You trying to make them laugh? Dude, they see the blood in the water, baby, and they come for you. They get mad, they get raunchy, they come for you. Don't waste your time. And Jessica Tandy told us that. Now I'm going way back. Jessica Tandy and Hume Cronin was a white couple who loved each other. I think they was married for 60 years to each other, and they were two of the greatest actors of their day. In fact, they did a play on Broadway that ran like 12 years called The Gin Game. You know what gin rummy is? Mm-hmm. And it's just them two on stage for 2 hours. And packed houses for like 14 years. It's just them playing gin and talking shit. Oh, they was cold-blooded. If you don't know who Hume Cronin is, he was in that movie Cocoon. You know Cocoon? Yeah. He was like one of the main leads in Cocoon, just a cold actor. She's the one who said, you act for yourself and the people will get it, you know? So I realized there's no worse death than being talked to death. So I think we can stop whenever you're ready. Or if you got more questions, I'm ready.
No, that's it. He didn't get into the details, but what he was trying to say in English was, I was tearing that motherfucking audience down last night.
I didn't get to that part. Oh no, you killed. Yeah, listen, you fucking smashed them up like a bag of potato chips. No question of it. And it doesn't hurt that you're elegant. So first of all, you walk out and you look good. I'm telling you, people see you first. And once they see you, they start making their judgments before you open your mouth, you know? And here's the thing, not just in performance, but in life. Once you open your mouth, everybody know where the fuck you from. Once you open your mouth. But how you talk to them, how you carry yourself, what you say, people know, oh, this dude from the hood, this dude's terrible, this dude's trying to rip me off, or this dude is sharp, or this dude is intelligent. They know it. So you came out looking good, and then you gave an intelligent and funny set. Oh, brother, you killed that shit. You smashed him up, baby. You killed that. All I know is I said, he's on the list. You know, you're on my list. When I have gigs anywhere in your area, I'm trying to get you on as a feature, cause you kill it. You weigh it out. You know, and you know how to do your time and keep it moving. You know, a lot of people run the light. You don't understand how important it is not to go over your time. Because when you go over your time, you push the whole show back. Now everybody is late. Now the house is mad. They can't even turn the house over for the next show in time because you can drag your time out because, hey, everybody look at me. No. It's good to have fun, but watch your watch. Get your ass off when it's your turn. Go. I don't do that, though, because I'm a star. But I'm just saying.
Well, look.
No, you were wonderful, brother. You're a wonderful person to know. You're a great artist. I'm sorry about that vegan thing. I'm sure you'll get over it. But otherwise, man, it was a pleasure to work with you, and I'm so looking forward to the 2 shows tonight.
We got one tomorrow, too.
Damn right.
Look,
y'all
man,
have 3 more opportunities to miss us.
This your boy, Willie Lynch Jr., man. Before we get out here, what do you have coming up? Anything in particular you want us to look out for? How can we follow you?
It's funny you should mention that. Well, this is the camera that sees me. First of all, I have a children's book called Lil Bobby White, but the kids are black. Yeah, so it's called Lil Bobby White, and it doesn't matter what the color is. That's why I call it that, because it's not about the color. It's about the story, you know, and it's a story of a kid who always wins because he always chooses to do the right thing. We don't teach that lesson anymore to our kids. We don't teach our kids to be good for goodness sake. We don't teach them shit. What we do is we give them a device and we sit them in a corner. And we come back 8 years later and we don't know why they got a gun on the bed while they rolling joints and calling us motherfuckers. It's because we forgot our responsibility as parents. My responsibility to you as my child is not to be your fucking friend. I'd like to be your friend. If it works out, cool. But if not, I don't give a fuck. My responsibility is to be your parent and not to raise a child. I'm raising a young adult with responsibility and ideals and energy and light. I don't want to just raise you. I want to teach you so that you walk into the world like I walk. Like I own this shit. I walk through it like I am a king. I know who I am. I know where my people come from. The white folks can steal all of our art and knock the noses off so you don't see them and hide them in their museums all around the world so black people don't see our greatness and not talk about the great libraries in Timbuktu that was here long before anything that's written now. No. We're primitives. We're savages. Wooga wooga. We got a fucking spear and we want to kill somebody. If not, we're going to come and put a suit on and rob your ass. That's the shit they want you to know, but it's not the truth. And when you are embedded with the truth, you know what it is. So you don't have to go and prove nothing to nobody. When you know who you are and you know where you're from, you walk it as though you know it, and the people around you will get it. They'll hear it. They'll feel it without you opening your mouth. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want us to do, is be great artists. This book is fantastic. Oprah is going to call it her favorite children's book of the year, Little Bobby White. You can get it on Amazon. It's only $15. If you give them $2 more, they bring it to your house this afternoon. In fact, I don't know where the fuck these people are. Amazon. I ordered some from Amazon the other day. They brought it to my house in 34 minutes. Are they sitting at the corner? Are they parked? Where the hell are they? So I want you to know about my morning show. Please subscribe to the Michael Colyar morning show. It's off the chain. Every show we have comedy. Every show we have music, and every show we pray. Because I feel like if you start your day with laughter and prayer, you'll be able to force field of positivity around you that no bullshit can penetrate. My newest series is coming out April 10th. Should I give a date or not? April 10th, that's just 5 days from now. April 10th is called Highly Favored. It's the first time I'm the lead in a sitcom. I'm the star of it. I play Pastor Michael. My deacon is Rodney Perry. My wife is Kiki Shepard. Melanie Camacho is one of the church mothers. It's on Impact TV. All you gotta do is go to impacttv.com and it'll come up and tell you how to find it on your TV. It'll tell you what channel it is. All you gotta do is put in your what's the name? Your zip code. And then finally, the last thing I'll talk about is I have a new audio erotica book that's coming out. Oh, I'm talking about eating coochie and love and everything. It's called In the Wet Spot, Blue Erotica by MC Butternuts, okay? And that's coming out soon. Otherwise, man, y'all can catch me all over the country. I'm headlining somewhere in America almost every weekend, and I'm hireable. Yeah, I do weddings, divorces, Passover, hangover. I do a party in a phone booth if you promise to call. I take green stamp, food stamp, Canadian money. I take a bus transfer if it's got some time left on it. All you got to do to write me is go to Comic King 123. I still don't know how they had a show called The Kings of Comedy without the fucking king. Okay, so Comic King 123 at AOL.com. I personally answer everything myself, just like I answered you. And I've been honored to be here, brother. To sit in your presence is a real joy. I'm really blown away by this, and I thank you.
We appreciate it, man. It's your boy Willie Lynch Jr., the traveling black vegan, on the Ye Day. All the way live, man. Michael Colyar. We out, man. See y'all in a minute. Go to osainsbotanicals.com and grab something. Grab some herbs. Grab something for your blood pressure. Brothers, grab something to keep the honeymoon going, because I know you Negroes, things ain't working like they used to.
Get a dick pill. You got dick pills?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, get a dick pill.
Jog on.
It's all natural.
Yes, sir. 2 fingers, no prints. We out.
Whoa.
New.
Thank you, brother.